What's going on, everybody? We are back for the second episode of the Divine Intervention Podcast. I'm your host, Gray, more commonly on the internet known as Mac Attacker, and I'm joined today, once again, by my lovely co-hosts.
I'm Sean, also known as Kool-Aid Guy. Nice to meet you again.
And I'm Chad, also known as Toasted Nut.
And our special guest this week is the same as last week because there's a lot of changes, and we'll talk about that in a second. It's Jake. Say hi, Jake.
Yo. Mjolnir's manhood, also known as Jake.
That's true.
What's going on?
It's true. Sometimes people call you Jake. And
It's true. Most of them.
we have some schedule changes. Obviously, I'm pretty sure last time we said this was going to be bi-weekly. That's not the case anymore. We have moved it to weekly. There will be two separate podcasts. There's one, which is today, which is non-patch note days. We'll go through a lot of what we did last time. We'll talk about gods, items. We have some other stuff I'm really excited to talk about because I think it's really cool. And then at the end, we'll finish with the community corner. And on patch note days, which will be next week, and by the way, we do have a special guest lined up for that, and he is super awesome. I would be excited if I were you, because I am.
He's British.
That's true. Don't spoil it too much.
He's an animal.
Don't spoil too
He's an
much.
animal.
Some would say a creature.
Some people would.
Oh boy.
I get it.
And we'll just talk about the patch. We'll go into more detail than we did last time because we'll break it down piece by piece. There should be a new god, which we might talk about later today. But, yeah, otherwise, it's a show. We have a lot. Also, thank you for your feedback, by the way. Thank you so much. Great stuff.
Yeah, thanks.
True. You
Always
did help us
helps.
out.
We have a lot of stuff that we took to heart, and we appreciate
Feel
that.
free to tear us
Corrections
apart.
and such.
Again.
Yes,
Do it
yes.
again.
Yeah, do it again.
Do it
Eventually, we'll get it right. Keep.
We're
We
into
like
that, trust me.
abuse. Keep on being mean to
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
We like it rough.
No one was mean to us.
Hey, I want them to be mean to us.
Be
I
meaner.
do too.
No, please,
All right,
please
all
don't.
right, put a letter on
Please
it.
don't.
Come on, stop projecting yourself onto us.
So last patch was 5.7. I believe the drop the beat patch. And the biggest
Drop the beat.
things that happened was, correct me if I'm wrong, Crusher nerf, which was nice, which is
Yeah.
what we asked about.
Yes.
Giannis nerf, which is always nice. Who doesn't love
Yeah.
Giannis nerfed? And as far as I'm aware, that's the only two things that I remember.
Uller got nerfed.
Ooh.
too.
Uller got nerfed slightly.
His nerf was, I mean, it was a thing, but it wasn't.
But
It
one of
helps.
them,
Nerf.
they're in the
It
right direction.
helps.
It's a start.
It's true.
Otherwise,
Just like with the Giannis nerf.
a fairly
Every little helps.
minor patch last week. So a lot of what we talked about last week is probably going to end up being a similar situation to this week. A lot of the same gods, which we'll get to in a quick second, are still pretty good. Still pretty good. And that'll go us into our first segue. Gods, what have we been seeing this week? I'm going to start off real quick before we get to like the obvious answers. I've seen a lot of Agni recently, and
No.
I don't, Agni was always fine to me. I like, he was cool. He did his thing. He did a lot of damage. It was great.
Make it rain.
Make it rain.
I recently, it's been like every game, and he keeps hurting me, and I need it to stop because it makes me sad. I don't like it.
He's the OG.
Oh
You
man.
can't
In
beat
my
him.
opinion, he's actually pretty balanced. He's a really good mage, but you know,
He does a lot.
he might be strong right now. Not OP.
I do not like him
He
because he's the anti-mage mage.
he's real good at killing people. And
That is
he has
true.
he's a
that's the goal.
Especially
Specifically,
we're-
other mages.
we're in a burst meta right now. He's one of the best burst mages.
Well, speaking of mages, I'd like to bring up of Hades. recently.
Hades did actually get. I'm glad you brought that up. He got a pretty solid,
Dude, our last
sizable buff.
Yep, he was.
Last
He was
this
involved.
patch, which by the way, in case you guys didn't know, the patch came out yesterday, so that came out the 25th.
Fifth.
Yes, of
Fifth.
course, I knew that. Definitely just look at my phone.
Actually, no, it's the 24th.
Technically,
Whatever,
it would
shut
be the 24th.
Anyway, he changed yesterday, and if you didn't know, his cooldown was reduced pretty significantly on his 3.
3.
And the same thing happened to Kali Inter 2, but this one's a lot more significant because Kali isn't super great right now, whereas Hades can actually see some form of play.
Yeah, he was doing all right.
What do you guys think about his change? You think it helped him a lot? You think he's in a much better spot? A little bit better? Not better at all?
A
I think he's a
little
lot better.
bit better, in my opinion. He's not.
Well, I think so because since his 3 doesn't consume his passive, right? His blight.
Yes, it does not.
Now that like what apply to his 1 and his 2, which means if you want to from your like the 3 burst into your ult, the bonus effects from having the blight and his ult are also automatically there.
That is true.
Versus
That's
like,
That is true.
I'm gonna just get rid of my passive, and now it's just like, oh, walk out of it. I mean, you still do that, but like,
I'm actually going to
I'd actually have to like,
double check what the blight effect on his ult did.
yeah,
Gains
I don't-
protections,
Removes
I believe.
protections,
Yes.
I believe.
Ooh, pretty meaty protections too. Pretty meaty protections. Unless this is outdated, we are using, by the way, the Smite Wiki, and it says a lot of protections. So yeah, that actually is
I just
pretty
Was it 30?
pretty sizable.
No, I would say it's just a decent buff. I wouldn't say it makes him really relevant, but he is better. That's definitely a positive. But
You definitely put him more in the spotlight.
I don't get the
Yeah.
point of his passive now. Like, why does it even exist?
because
if
he has
it's
to have
always
passive.
up.
Well, it's not always up. That's
Okay, it's always up
Apparently
after you hit one ability.
well. Here's the
it's always
thing:
up the
your
rest of it.
2, you can, if you decide to use your 2 to apply blight, which most people do, and I think it's the safest way to do it. Definitely. Excuse me. You lose out on the CC, and it's a fear. While fear not being the greatest CC in the game, it is a hard CC. So theoretically, if you were to use your 1 on someone and apply blight, and then consume it with your 3, you still could fear them afterward.
It's true.
So that could, whether or not that could be a significant thing you could do, I don't particularly know, but I'm sure a lot of those Hades that have 4,000 worshippers immediately saw the change and just in their heads they calculated the exact combos they needed to do. I'm sure.
I just wish Hades 3 was casted faster.
That's the weakness of a strong ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Late game,
That is his 3 is pretty
late
good.
game. I don't think he changed all that much, but it's definitely was a nice early game.
It's a nice early game buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the game's a lot
a
better.
lot better.
Yeah. Now you can play him and get away.
Now you can
with it if
actually
want
contest
that.
mid games.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, someone asked what game modes we play. We pretty much play all of them. We pretty much play the entire. We literally queue up for like everything if we can.
We
Except Joust.
like.
I mean, we play Joust.
We like to
but
play
not often.
Conquest the most right now as of season 5. We queue up a lot for that once we have like a pretty much a full man team.
I think once we have 3 people, we start queuing. For
3 or 4 we queue.
Yeah, 3 or 4 we queue up, but like other than that, we do a lot of assault, a lot of siege.
Not arena,
Arena.
Clash. And for most of the gods, I would say a solid 70% at least. They're typically the same as far as casuals go per conquest to other game modes. There's only a couple that really change hard in that.
Honest.
Yeah. So speaking of gods, yeah, let's talk about Giannis. He got nerfed. So how are we feeling about it now?
I still hate him.
I haven't noticed anything huge or anything at all change to him, but that's just me. I mean, like I don't really have that many issues with Giannis anyway. He's not like, at least in my eyes, he's not that
You also
great.
play solo.
That
But
is
I do
true.
play solo. The only time you see
So you don't have to deal with Giannis until
The
he's
only
So
time you see
I
him is
don't-
toot all aboard the Giannis train. Let's go fuck solo lane.
right.
The taxi.
His ganks are really
Yeah,
really
because the
bad.
entire
It's
team
really good in
follows.
I'm pretty
Conquest.
sure if he wants to
Probably
gank
the
with
best
someone, he
mage.
has the best gank in the game. I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
Except
Probably,
for
'cause he
Athena,
shows up there
perhaps.
immediately. Oh yeah, that's true.
I would rather, well, like, at least with
Athena
Honest,
has
you
the
can
don't touch
bring
me circle,
plenty of
and you
people
literally
with
have
that.
to stop fighting the other person, or she
that
will
too.
slam you.
Both of them are very good.
Athena, by the way, still awesome. Love Athena.
Still awesome.
Every
Still
time
great.
she's in my game, I get happy because that means I don't have to worry that as nearly as much.
Except
and you
when
get
I'm
to hear
against
your
her.
voice.
And then you're against her and you're upset because she taunts you and makes people.
She's
take
all
damage.
like, "Face me." I don't want to face
You know, that thing has really big range. It is deceiving.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not close enough for that, and then you're dead, and then you remember,
And then she uses her cute voice and says,
It's-
"Got you," and then
and
you're
then you
dead.
die.
Face me.
And then
It's kind of like Ymir's, except Ymir stops moving when he does his. She
That's
doesn't. So
I
she can
wouldn't
do
really
it
know.
easier.
I don't think I've touched Athena in months.
Ever.
In months. Got her to rank 1. I don't think I've touched her
Mm-hmm.
since.
You wouldn't want to touch Athena? Come on.
Listen, let's not get in.
I would
That's a
touch
whole
Athena
other
all
podcast that we need to talk about. Smite, smash or pass edition. Leave in the comments when you
Yo.
want to see it.
You
I
know what we
wanna
need
see
to
it.
talk about?
Say it. Bring it up.
Tara.
All right. Listen, I've
Let's
tried.
get it over
I've
with.
tried to avoid this elephant in the room. She is very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's very
I
good.
think very
I
good
would
to
agree.
me, understanding.
She,
But yeah, we'll go
okay,
with
she is super very good.
Dude, the fun times. to
Super
build full damage
duper very good.
Yeah, her.
and almost one shot a Coco Con.
Okay, but you did build damage though.
That's why I build full damage. Do it.
You heard it here first.
Experience Tara
Don't
at her
be a
maximum
pussy.
power.
Build full damage.
Maximum damage.
Soul Reaver.
We probably went into a pretty good amount of detail last week, but her ult is one of the
Good.
best ults in the game. I think we can all say.
Yeah, it's a
probably-
free sunder on everyone.
It's
Top 3 support ult, I would say.
definitely.
At least.
I might even go as far to say top 5 overall ult, probably.
Me too. I'd go as far as that as well.
It's super good. I think one of the like the ult's powerful, and I think they want it to be powerful, and it definitely does that. It definitely is very strong. So I think a lot of the things that people would change is reduce the damage, and I guess that would work, but it would still be a very incredibly powerful effect, even without doing that much damage. I kind of just
Or
want them to
make it-
reduce the circle, so make it to where if you're skilled, or if they want to get the benefits of the ult, or if you want all the enemies to get the benefits of the ult, I guess, that you would have to work a little bit harder for it.
Like you have to kind of pick
Yeah, you
one or
kind
the
of have to
other, not get both.
Pick your battles.
Hey, buff all my teammates or debuff the entire enemy team. It's not
Right.
all of them at the same time.
Or
Because
make it
pretty much it's like, oh, she ulted. Everyone turn tail and run.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That's pretty much what happens if I get ulted by. I just run.
if she ults, everyone uses sprint in the like both teams use sprint and it's like who can run down the other person first.
Right.
I think that'd be a cool change. Is just reduce the range.
Like tag, but your life is on the line. Let's go.
Or maybe make it so she has to it takes more hits to activate the damage or so.
Maybe.
When the heal. So maybe not the heal.
Maybe
I think the
reduce
heal's
the
fine.
amount of
The heal-
bonus damage.
The heal I don't
little
notice as
bit.
much. Just in general.
20% is pretty substantial for as long as that ult lasts. Because
It's
this is
like-
what 20% bonus damage, right?
No, it's 10.
It's
I believe.
10.
I was about to say, I don't think it's.
I'm
a
pr-
20.
If it was 20%, that would be too.
That would be pretty.
I can
big.
check, but I'm pretty sure it's 10 bonus, and then there's like.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
10 bonus
10%
and 10
more
mitigation.
damage.
Okay.
Oh.
From all sources.
So yeah.
You can tell how long it. Wait, it heals you over time?
Yeah, it heals a small little percent over time.
I didn't
Or
even
not percent,
notice.
not.
See, I just don't think
Yeah,
the heal's a
it's
big
not
deal.
That big.
Yeah.
It's not substantial.
I was
the
thinking about the
substantial
first
heal is.
I
the
definitely
heal.
would say it's right now. Its use is definitely on the offensive
It's
side.
definitely for the
Yeah.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think if they want to change that, I would be okay with it. Be more protective because she's already really strong aggressively anyway. She has a huge root. She has a pretty easy to hit stun.
And if you don't want to hit the stun, you can shadow those and do a lot of damage.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like design wise though, she's cool. She has options, which is good. The options are always good for characters. But just right now, I think ult up there. But I mean, everyone who plays the game right now knows that. This is not our opinion. That's just how it is currently.
And it's also our opinion.
It's also our
It's
opinion.
just the
But
way it is.
also, in case you guys didn't know, podcast,
It'll
a lot of
never
our
be the
opinions about to come
same.
up. So if you disagree, that's
Feel free to tear us a new one.
that's how opinions work.
Suck it.
Opinions don't. Criticism and opinions are two different things, Chad.
Yeah.
They can argue their point.
I
and
want to
say,
know
like,
their
hey,
opinion.
I get that.
Tell
but
me
I wanna
your
see
opinion.
this. That's
Tell me-
different from.
Tell me why you
hey,
think
tearing a single
Achilles
butthole.
is not good, and I will respectfully disagree. I figured I'd bring up
tell-
Achilles
all
just
capital letters.
because I think Achilles is brought up a lot still. I haven't seen him as much personally. I don't think
Me
there's
neither.
anything
I haven't
that
seen
wasn't
him.
in
I
results
haven't
to
seen him.
anything. It's just I think that's just luck of the draw. He still played a ton, I'm sure. He still does what he does. He didn't. I don't believe he got touched last patch, which is fine. I think
think so.
he's really really strong. I'm not sure if I'd say he's quite. Or I'd use the word quote unquote overpowered, but I do think he's very good, definitely.
Yeah.
Actually,
I would agree.
I think
but
most.
I mean, a little nerf maybe, but nothing substantial.
You know what god I've seen a lot of recently? Artemis.
Have you?
My love.
I don't know why.
What? Okay. What was it? Yesterday.
So Artemis mid.
Artemis mid. We played
3 games
we
in a
played
row.
this- You were there too.
Yes,
3
3
games
games
in a row.
in a row.
Same people. Same
Artemis
team.
mid.
Every
Well, same
time.
people kind
They
of
won.
takes out the fact that it would be a common occurrence.
I mean, you're right, but
I mean, yeah, but like the fact
that person played
okay,
Artemis mid 3
the
times
whole-
in a row.
I'm not a fan of the whole ADC mid thing, but that's an entirely different topic. Anyways, Artemis.
She actually. The reason I think it works on Artemis, or at least works, the reason why you'd want to do it on Artemis is because mid gets a lot of farm. That's
It's
Yeah,
true.
she like hunters are most like usually all late game, but like her late game is like
if she gets a little bit
Destroy the
ahead,
world.
she turns into a very big problem.
She can if she gets a dank Tusky on when Tusky's not being stupid.
Which happens a lot.
For once in his goddamn boar life.
It's rather Tusky's an
She can-
idiot.
Or he's a genius.
Tusky's
Or he has
a
4,000
fucking
IQ,
genius.
and he goes after someone
Yeah.
when their ult ends as Medusa, and it pisses me off. But whatever. That's
Dude, I
fine.
love it when Tusky waits for your beats to end, and then
He's
Yeah, me
dude,
too.
sometimes I swear he writes Rick and Morty. Like, he understands exactly the
Dude,
laws of
no,
the universe.
dude,
he
no.
can see into your eyes.
He can't actually see.
Future
He can only see characters, but if you're CC immunity, you're just invisible to him. It's just like he can't see you, and then it's just like it's like camouflage. Your beads is your camouflage, and then as soon as it goes away, he's like, and then attacks you.
It maybe that might be how it works, honestly, because that's how it seems
That would be
sometimes.
so dumb. That would be stupid. Because
That's I was just saying that's how it seems sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes,
But
but it
anyways.
definitely doesn't.
Circling
Bacon.
back on topic,
His bacon.
she like her ult pretty much she just follows Tusky. If she follows Tusky and she's late game, she can kill everyone.
You know, on the,
Sucks,
I don't mean to
I think some
derail
shove it
you
on
or anything, but just a funny note. I'm on the official Smite wiki, and on the gods list, the Turnabog is there, and it really threw me off
Is he?
because I was like, "Who the fuck?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, right." We'll talk about him a little bit. We'll talk about him at the end.
I don't even see him.
If you go to like the home page of the wiki, and there's all the gods like next to each other,
Oh, there he is.
It-
That is weird.
it's just it's very strange. Other gods that I've seen a lot of, Hubwa, I've noticed a lot of recently. I don't particularly know
Yeah.
why.
Oh, burst!
I
Here
mean,
we
I know
go.
why. All right. I mean, that was a stupid thing to say. I know exactly why I've seen a lot of Hubwa recently. I personally still don't see it. I'm not convinced.
One person I've seen a ton of is Odin, due to his new skins.
That's true.
That's
true.
true. That one
That
day.
one, the release day, there was a lot of Odin.
There's
Hey,
a lot
that
of Odin.
that Odin skin's really good. I like it a lot.
The Odin school is really cool looking. As a diamond Odin,
He has
I think I'm a
wings.
double diamond Odin at this point. It's really
Double
cool.
D.
Double D, yep. But
Sockhead.
he's still not the greatest right now. I think he needs a little McLovin considering everybody.
Well, the problem is he's a super hard counter pick, and that's his
Yeah,
entire.
exactly.
That's the reason he exists is for that one specific. Well, not two. I guess it's like the 2 or 3
They have 3 healers.
specific counter
Let's-
pick. That's why
let's pick Odin.
That's why he's in the game.
right.
Which I don't
Yeah,
like,
anti-heal
obviously. I
is
think.
ult, for people who didn't know, his ult, Ring of Spears, it's anti-heal.
I'm pretty sure
all
100%
healing.
anti-heal.
No,
It
it's
is-
100%.
Unless
You can't
No,
do
it's not.
anything.
100, it prevents all healing because
Yeah,
they changed.
all healing.
because Rod of Asclepius still let healing through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's made no
So
sense.
now it's like any source of healing or any boosted healing just
Which is pretty good for hunters because they all build lifesteal pretty much.
And
It's kind of the
Anubis.
anti-hunter cage.
Gray and
so
I.
doesn't have an attack speed slow on
Anubis
it.
mains.
It does.
Not
If you're in a team fight, you rely on
60%,
your.
that's pretty good. If he
not
gets
not
it
that
all the way
much.
up there.
Not that much Anubis recently. Haven't seen a ton of Anubis. I think beginning of season 5, he was like running rampant. That Typhoon's Fang, they were loving it. Now everyone realizes you just pick Pestilence, and then he's not as good.
I mean, Pestilence.
Right.
But anyway, we'll
Yeah,
talk about Pestilence later.
Yeah.
Characters. Kali, I have not seen at all, and
No,
I think
not
she
really.
needs some
No.
love.
She
She
just got
some
some.
love.
She just got some
I've
love,
been-
but I don't think it did what she needs.
I've been seeing Arachnes.
Maybe an item love.
Maybe.
You know, I'm gonna jinx it. Knock on my
But that's
desk,
dangerous.
desk is wood.
Somewhere.
But we haven't seen a lot of Daji.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I
Good.
meant to bring
And
that up.
the
Daji is like
I was like, she's still amazing.
Yeah.
she still does what she needs to do. She'll still hit you really
Uh,
hard. Her cooldown was reduced, sure, but that doesn't stop
her
you from
damage.
killing someone.
3.
It doesn't stop you from dying.
Doesn't stop her from ulting and laughing at
Laughing
you.
at everyone?
Yeah. But strangely enough, I agree. I guess people they scare her off. So good on them, Hi-Rez. You know what's up. you scared off all the Dodgies.
I've seen a lot of
him.
Hui recently too.
Yeah, who ye?
I mean, Hoyi's always
He
been.
came-
He's pretty safe.
I mean, yeah, but he showed up again.
It's a safe pick. I don't know. I haven't
His
seen.
kit does what it does. His passive does what it does. If you have a crit fighter, you might not win that match.
Maybe.
If you box
I've
up.
seen a lot of Ravana.
Yeah, that might be to his skin, but Robin Jungle is still real solid.
Yeah.
Real solid.
No, we hit both spectrums.
Yeah,
of
we
the
saw
Jungle.
Robin Jungle at
Back
its
to back.
peak and Robin's Jungle at its not peak.
Lowest.
And it was interesting. Does a lot of damage,
I was-
good ganks, invincibility frame, solid.
You know, what I still haven't seen a lot of for a
Is it
while.
Thoth?
Ardio?
Yes, Thoth.
Yeah, I don't know why people don't play Thoth.
Where is he?
I don't
They're
know.
Maybe people are just bored of him.
he's
not
not
fun.
particularly interesting to play, that's for sure.
I like one-shotting
I mean, I guess if you like
across the map.
being really safe and doing a ton of damage, and if they do catch you, you can fly away. But
It's great. I love it.
but I don't know. I couldn't tell you honestly. I feel like he should be played more. I mean, like at least if you want to, like if you really want, like I really want to need a solid good mage. Thoth is always on the counter, but for some reason people are just gravitating towards Agni.
Maybe that's Agni kind of beats Thoth because they have like the same range.
They kind of serve the
Well,
same purpose, which is long range artillery.
I'm thinking about it. They have some mobility. They both have their dash, is what I mean. They both
Well, Thoth is dash, I would
Stun
say, is a
both-
little
they
bit
both,
better.
They both can
than
dash
Agni.
into a stun.
right.
Except one stun does 600 damage and one.
I mean, you're
Doesn't.
right, but
You're right, but
Agni
still,
also does a decent
still,
amount of
they
damage.
do the
Yeah,
same
no.
thing.
I mean, I'm not saying Agni doesn't do damage, because Agni absolutely does damage. Don't get me wrong. I just think Thoth probably...
I think Agni can outpoke Thoth in lane.
As far
I
as
feel
speed
like-
goes, Agni definitely can hurt him faster. If he wants to.
if he can pull it off.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
I feel like that whole entire fight
Cool.
depends on the stun.
Yeah,
Because Thoth can only stun one person, Agni can stun a team.
that's true.
That's true.
It's true.
But how often do you really see
However-
that?
However,
I mean, it's just when he's getting run down, you dash away and then stun two
Yeah.
people.
I've stunned like 3 or 4 before in Conquest.
It's possible.
I mean, it's because it's like your flames leave it to be stunned.
Yeah.
It's true.
The fact that you have so much control over the stun, I think, is one of the reasons why he's so good. Because you can kind of just pick whenever to do it.
Absolutely. So what's next, boss?
There's a couple gods. Cerberus has it kind
Always-
of
It's really
popularity's fallen off a little bit in favor of Terra, I think, but he still does a ton of damage. He has a
He
great
serves his
ult.
purpose.
I like it.
Still
He
best
has some of the
doggo.
best diamond and legendary skins in the game. In case you didn't know, look at them
Voice
because they
pack
look
is awesome.
super dope. You know, I've actually seen a lot of Kernanos lately.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I don't
I like.
Oh,
I love
Baby
Kernunos. I mean,
Lily.
I'm a Diamond Kernunos. I love Kernunos. I think he's one of the coolest
I
designs.
got shit on by Cornelius last game.
He's one of the coolest gods in the game. He just
Hashtag oof.
The goat man.
maybe
He's the goat.
maybe he plays really well against other hunters. Couldn't really tell you personally. No idea.
Well,
Let us know in the
I
comments.
think it's because like his
He's a very
It's like a
good
lot of
mid
hunters-
game.
his mid game is because like once you get your like stacks for example.
Once you get like 3 items online, you're chilling.
like thing is though, it's like my 2 favorite ADCs, Artemis and Shibalanke.
Wow, you like him late game, huh, buddy?
I just
likes
like
them
them. I think
crit.
they're the most fun.
I'm like the
I do
opposite.
like crit. I do, but like you guys know my obsession with Artemis. Like she's my baby. Anyways,
It's weird, she's like 14.
Right.
Okay.
yeah, from you, Greg. That's the person in love with Jingwei.
Shibalanke.
She's like 300, dude. What are you talking about?
Scotty is thick.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
for adding to
This
that.
just got so long. You just made me lose my train of thought.
Well,
talking about
I'm gonna
Shibalba.
take your train of thought
Okay.
and throw it
We're
in
still
the
talking
garbage
about
because it
thoughts?
was
Shibalba.
horrible.
Well, because it's like a lot of hunters thrive on their late game, except for like a few who are super early game heavy. Like Honor. Honor's early game is amazing. He just gets free pet. I ain't medallion.
It's okay.
And passive.
That passive. I mean, he gets a baby execution. Oh, baby stone cutting. I guess it's not execution. It's not percent.
Yeah.
Whereas like Cornelius, like once you get like keen size, like you get whatever first item you're gonna stack, your boots, execution, keen size, like you're set. Like that's your build, and then you destroy most people.
On the vein,
As you know,
I don't want to interrupt you, but on the vein of hunters, I've been playing a lot of Neith lately, and she feels really good right now.
Just looks it.
I mean, yeah, definitely. But she has so much burst, and she's so safe. And obviously, global ult is a global ult. That's always going to be good, especially on the bigger conquest map, which is why Giannis is so good. She feels super awesome right now.
She's an ability-based hunter, and I feel like you actually excel at those as well.
Maybe. But I definitely like her. I like her, and I probably will end up playing more of her.
She's been out for a hot minute.
Yeah, she's not particularly new. But, otherwise, is there any other characters you guys really want to bring up?
You know who I wish I would see more?
Fafnir.
Ra.
Ganesh? Oh, yeah. I feel like
Ra.
Ganesh, or Ra is still
Fafnir.
moderately
I've seen
popular.
Fafnir. I like Raw.
I mean, Ra's
Raw's
fun.
Like it
Ra's
both.
always a fun character to play no matter what you're doing.
I've seen a decent amount of Raw.
I think so, too.
I want more.
The slipperiest
I
of chicken.
want more. If
If
they took every mage out of the game and left Ra, I would be satisfied.
I want more
But Raw's ult also combines with every other mage ult.
Oh. So you want the world to end? What is that even? What would that even
So
look
you
like?
get the new Raw targeter, and then
But it would be
from
Raw's
the sky, the Raw laser
Only-
with the triangle
Only
around
if
it,
the
riding
map,
away.
only if the
hits
map
you
like
in the
changed
face.
to be like Ra, just like giant Ra in the sky, and his laser would just come down upon all of them.
That would be horrifying.
Yeah, it'd be the best thing I've ever seen.
Then you could just Aegis it.
I mean, yeah, but it would look hilarious.
It's the new Raw meteor.
Oh, real quick,
What?
Camazot's got nerfed also. I went up against Camazot
yeah.
solo.
Chemist is
He's still really hard to play against in solo lane. He still sustains
It's true.
insane amount. If he can hit his twos, it's I don't want to say impossible because there's definitely you can win the matchup. Like it's definitely you can definitely
win that.
do it. It's just if the Camazotz is competent, it is definitely a challenge.
I mean,
Everyone loves
I
our
would
Batman.
still in solo lane. I would still rather a Kukulin or an Achilles in there, but
But then you can have your warrior jungle, and Achilles is better jungle anyway.
that's true.
Either way,
He's
Either
a
way.
bat.
Batman
Bats are hard to
is
kill.
really good. He's an awesome flex pick, which is one of the reasons he's so good. You don't know if he's going to jump.
But only if he has prep time.
God damn it!
I'm gonna, Chad,
I'm gonna use the opportunity to just cut the god section. We're moving to items, and Last patch, Crusher was nerfed, and honestly, I think it's in a pretty good spot now.
It is.
I
I'd
agree.
agree.
It's not what it used to be, and that's good.
Yeah,
The Crusher, it's
not-
definitely not nearly as played as it.
It's not an instant buy on
everybody-
every single
God,
character.
it
Any
was
physical
spot
god will
on.
do all right with
Right.
this
It's
item.
not the everybody item. It's just a good item.
Like, take for
That's where it
example,
needs to be.
like Naja. If you're in a 1v2 and you have your ring,
I mean, that's just not Jaw anyway.
That's just Naja, yeah.
It's just the Crusher
I know,
helps
but,
a little
like,
bit.
with the Crusher,
Still good on Loki as
it
well.
just
I played a little
depends
bit.
on the god. Like, if it was really good on the before, it's still good on the now. But if it was just like, hey, you could justify buying this, but there are other items that would be better. Now it's like, I don't really have a reason to buy
It kind
this.
of just went from buy it on everyone, even if the thing is, it was bought on a lot of warriors that would build defense, and it would
Yeah.
still do a ton of damage. Now to get the more benefit, you'd actually kind of have to have a lot of power to feel.
You
it.
need to work into it. You can't just be like, oh, I have this is enough. You
Which
need to-
does kind of make Heartseeker the better early game option now, which is what I think a lot of junglers are probably going to start building
That
instead.
movement speed, boy.
So it's interesting to see what'll happen to Heartseeker in the future. I don't think it's too strong or anything. I just think it's a really, really good item to start with, or at least
I
build
think
early.
They're now defined for what they're good. Like Heartseeker's good for the people who are good with it. Crusher's good for like Susanoo, and the others that are good with it. He was just
Susa, oh no.
Other items, I don't know. What are you thinking? Pestilence is still
Pestilence is still
Pestilence
good.
great.
Still good.
Which-
Midgard, still good.
We're gonna talk a little bit about magic defense in a segment later, but right now I'll preface it by saying magic defense is not in the best spot right now. In fact,
I like
agree.
Mail of Renewal.
in fact, I'd almost say defense in general isn't in the best spot right now. But as I said, we'll get there. You like Nail of Renewal? Are you a believer?
I'm a believer. If it costs like 100 gold less, I would
You
buy
know,
it. every
I'm
time.
not even a believer.
I'm a believer.
You know,
I
I,
don't
bought
know.
it once.
fun.
It was fun.
The only
I
issue
haven't
with
tried
it
much
is
with it, though.
anti-heal. Like,
Yeah, that's
just
just-
ruins
yeah.
the item.
An anti-heal's bot.
Anti-heal
Fun.
should
Most of the
should
time-
probably be
There's a
bought
lot.
almost every game.
There's a lot of anti-heal.
There's almost always a pestilence in every.
Well, maybe because it's the best
Fair
magic
enough.
defense item in the game.
Right.
Also, like, most solo laners are built around being self-sustaining.
or like Cerberus,
We need it.
the walking pestilence.
They made Pestilence that good so people would buy anti-heal.
Unless
it or not.
you're Obwash, and then you can
Pestilence survived
Trigger.
season 2.
you're stunned every time on servers because he doesn't have a choice.
Well,
You know how at the end of season 2 they nerfed every defense item except pestilence? I think it needs to be taken down.
take them
Just a
down.
notch.
Take them down.
Plus,
Or at
another
least
thing
make
is
other defense better.
a lot of pen is just really good. Executioner, like any of the mace tree, a lot of the spears and the magic tree,
Spear the maze.
void shield, void stone, all that stuff. It's just like pen's solid. Pen is real good right now, and the defense doesn't have a lot of ways to do
Because a
it.
lot of the items
Give
doesn't don't give enough. Like
Plus, they're pricey.
breastplate is a
X
good example.
not gonna
It's
give it
just
to
like,
you.
Breastplate's expensive as shit, but it's like 65 defense.
It
Well,
is
it's also
65.
the reason breastplate exists is
It's
because it's
also
20%
the
cooldown.
The cooldown
Yeah.
too, yeah, and the mana, but like
That hot CDR.
Breastplate might be a damage item.
It probably
It just
Yeah.
happens to have only.
it's probably
defenses.
like if you kind of want to be a little bit tankier, but you still want to hurt people real bad. It's
It's just
basically
like,
it's
hey,
basically the
I-
same thing as Mystical Mail. Like it's damage disguised as defense.
It's true.
like Shoguns.
An
It's
item,
an attack speed item, not a magical.
a sleeper item that I'm starting to see more of now. Traveler shoes.
Yeah.
It's a
Dude, I'm a fan.
it's
If I'm
hot
playing
fan.
Guardian,
or Talari
I'm
Boots
gonna
Travelers.
buy them.
It's really good. That like the passive's okay,
That beginning passive,
but
I mean,
the fact that it
That
gives you
movement
so much
speed,
movement
though.
speed just latently,
Gotta go fast.
you do, and it's really good.
And that MP5 for Guardians, like RDO.
Ardio loves
Yeah.
Traveler
Speaking of
shoes.
That audio last game.
Ardio's great. Talisman of Energy, correction we made last time, pretty good in Arena, actually. Brought to our attention.
Yeah.
Not I mean, it looks like every item has their place, and Talisman of Energy's only place, unfortunately, is Arena. But hey, that's
It has a
something.
place.
That's something.
It has a
It has a home.
All the minions
Not
are
little
there for
orphan
you to
Annie.
talk that
It's
past
pretty much
bunch.
always up in Arena.
Unless you're
Okay.
fighting like way off and fuck all nowhere.
Unless you're fighting
Like,
off
and
Or you
by the-
died.
the quote jungle end
The
quote.
Assassin's Blessing in Arena.
The only game mode that still has an attack speed buff. God bless.
God bless.
Oh, it does.
I
You're right.
Yeah,
I
right.
miss my attack speed buff.
I don't.
And it's still purple.
It's still purple.
It is still
It
playable.
throws you off.
You can still get it with Odin and match colors.
You will. You
Fraggle, Fraggle.
son of a bitch. You
I'll
will.
steal it from you.
You'll
dude.
do it
I'll
every
sign
game.
it. Do it.
Are we?
A Guardian Mail.
What
This is a good item.
Guardian Mail still great.
Midgardian, so good.
Still good. Stone of Gaia does what it does.
Sustain.
We're seeing the rise of Keen size though
Rise of Kings.
from these hunters.
Yeah,
Because
Because
of
everyone's
Midgardian
just
Mail.
building hell.
because of Midgard.
Yeah.
So it's just like, do you remember those days when what was it? Like all the plates and like breastplate, for example, gave a shitload of health and not mana, and then they changed and everyone was like, "Wow, this sucks. Give us health back." And then they're like, "Fine, we'll make it so the magic defense items give health again."
True.
That was like what? That was when they back then when they nerfed all that defense.
That was the end of season 2 where literally every single defense item got nerfed because they were all ridiculous.
Yep, and then
And
they
now,
all gave them mana. And then
a lot of
Guardians
them
started
are
sucking fat phallus.
Not ridiculous.
Yeah.
Any other items we want to talk about? Anything you've really liked to see? Anything you think is in need of help?
We had an Augie that said Malice was bad on Naja.
That is
Yikes.
not
So he didn't know. He didn't know it was changed.
that. Listen. They change mouse so goddamn often. I don't even know what it does anymore half the time. So I
I
don't
don't
blame
remember
them.
what it used to do.
Something
bleed.
or
It was the
crit
bleed.
DOT, some nonsense.
50% of the crit damage.
One thing I just want to complain
did
about is
overtime.
I never know where to find Polynomicon, and it makes me upset. And they need to put it back.
It's in the book.
They need to put it back
in the
where it
book
is because
tree.
I never can freaking find it.
Just put Paul.
It's in the book tree.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no,
I know that.
Because it's a book.
I just type my items always. I'm looking for
Me too. I'll know what item I want. I just type it.
I can't
Or
read.
then, you know what I want? When Book of Thoughts fully stacked, I don't want to be able to see the.
No, it just makes it
price
think you
for
can
Book
buy
of
it
Thoughts
again.
for
You're
the
like,
store.
oh yeah, hell yeah. And they're like, oh wait a second. Can you imagine though?
I want double Book of Thoughts Kokokan.
I don't.
It's like
I
200
don't
power
want
from
that.
his.
I don't want to
passive.
live in that world.
Do you get the Book of Thought passive twice, so even more power?
I don't want to
Full
talk about
item. Only items are Book of Thoughts.
Yeah, I don't want. The one thing I
6
do
Book of
not
Thoughts.
like is that like they did change. It's like the evolved or fully stacked version of the items is technically a separate item.
How does
and it just
Kokokan
throws me
even
off.
hold items?
His tail.
Does he just tape it to his head?
How
I don't
does
know
he
why
wear
you would
boots?
tape it to his head. I don't
How does
know
Medusa wear
how that would
boots?
benefit him in
They
any
both
way.
get.
She puts it on her little tail.
How
They
come
get
he
a boot.
can't?
He gets a shoot.
He
Remember,
flies.
He has like
He doesn't
5
even walk.
wings, dude. He can just like.
There's a
why
lot of
would
gods that
he-
don't even walk.
Yeah, but even
Every
him-
mage.
But they still like want to be able to get on the ground.
Do they? If I could
Yeah,
float,
they wanna-
I bet your ass I wouldn't get on the
All
ground
right, so
ever.
when you're taking a bath, you wouldn't put your feet down.
I mean, that's gods don't
cleaning
have to
it.
bath, bathe. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, they probably do. They probably enjoy
They
a
bathe
bath every
differently.
once in a while. No, they don't. You don't know
Mages
That's
bathe
why
in the
it's-
tears of their
Takes
enemies.
showers in waterfalls and then turns people into pigs and kills them.
Yes, of course.
Ray, how can there be
I'll
tears
remember
if they're all evaporated from the burst?
You're exactly-
Like, come on.
God.
To what tears? It's
I don't
just
know.
ashes.
I don't think there's any
It's
other items
Kratos.
that are worth talking. At least that aren't like significantly different than they were last week. But I'll have to wait till the patch. After items, we have a new segment. The meme build of the week.
Heck yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I'll let the co-host Sean take over and talk about what he wants to talk about.
All right. So there's this guy. He's super edgy. Likes to go, please.
Stop. Shut the fuck up. Never do that to me again.
He has a scythe. We like to call him Thanatos, right? Hear me out. Normally you'd get like, your boots, Jotuns, Hydras, Heartseeker. Shield of Regrowth is good on him too because of his healing.
okay.
Now, what if we took all those items, said fuck that, threw them down a garbage disposal,
God.
and I told you something about the build we call the chainsaw. Now, hear me out. We call it a meme build because if you are all right at Thanatos,
Yeah.
it's viable. However, if they realize that, hey, you're not doing the normal build, you're gonna die.
It is not the
So what you do?
safest build. Preface
It's
that
not.
right off the
It's
bat.
The most obvious.
Quote unquote.
However,
obvious.
it is
intense.
super fun. Okay, so start off. Instead of getting warrior tabby, what if I said, fuck that? There's a red boot that you need to get instead.
Traveler
Right?
shoes.
Ninja. And you're like, why would you buy ninja? You see, I said chainsaw, not in the fact that, oh, you're just gonna, it's that you're just gonna cut them down so fast. It's like you're having a
Gotta go
Also,
fast.
if you do it fast enough, you kind of break his hit chain, so you look kind of like a
That's
chainsaw.
true.
But if the chainsaw had wings and was having a stroke.
Exactly.
Exactly.
After that, here's everyone's favorite item that you buy on like 4 characters. Hasten Katana.
Yep.
Right. You got to get that Fatalis. Oh, haste quote.
Also,
Okay.
this build,
Fuck
you
the
move
Fatalis.
pretty fast with this build.
You move really fast. I recommend leveling your 2 first in hindsight, but that's we'll keep
First?
that
I mean,
later.
second.
I'm pretty sure you still
yeah,
want the
second,
scythe
yeah.
first.
The scythe and then the 2 for the movement speed, and your scythes don't really hit hard in the beginning, so you just gotta get that pen. Anyways,
Gotta tickle.
and from there, well, you get Blood Forge just because of your execute. You get that blood shield. It's handy, movement
Attack
speed,
speed.
that shield. You can attack
Does it have
faster.
attack speed?
Stay in the fight.
It synergizes with Thanatos'
Yeah.
passive.
It's
Thanatos.
a very good passive for
Then you
this.
gotta get. This one's kind of a toss up. You can get
Does it
stone
not give attack
cutting,
speed?
or you can get executioner, which gives attack speed. I prefer executioner just because most guardians do buy sovereignty. So on top of like their basic like
Base defense.
base defense, they have that added one to it. And stone cutting in the end game, I feel like just doesn't cut it. No pun intended. And then
We're cutting
Sure.
trees, not
That's
stones.
smart.
All right, save it for something else.
yeah. Now begins the
What are
crit.
Sylvanas?
Now hear me out.
I'm hearing.
You can buy rage. Yeah, sure, that's cute and all.
Losers.
But if you buy rage,
Why
Wind
build
Demon
rage
exists.
and you can get movement speed?
Wind Demon,
And attack
movement
speed.
and attack speed and crit chance. And then obviously you got to get Deathbringer because if you buy crit without Deathbringer, except like Malice, what are you doing? Come on, focus. Now, you pretty much at this point become like an ADC versus like an ability based. I mean, you still have an execute. You're still Thanatos. Like that's always relevant in the end game
It's
because
like
it's just
your
like, oh,
Bakasura.
What does
Yeah, you're
what
pretty
does the
much-
chainsaw gameplay look like? What are you looking to do?
if you build chainsaw, you can box just about anyone. If you can hit your scythe in that, because that'll heal you enough for you to sustain most fights on top of your crit healing with Blood Forge.
And you gotta buy Blink.
Typically, if you build
need-
chainsaw,
okay.
you don't start fights with the scythe. You want to use it midway as a heal if you can.
Yeah, you want to just like unless you're like going for like the alt and you can't execute them into the scythe, that combo's still there. Alt basic scythe, yeah. However, as Gray said, you move really fast.
You get real fast. Especially if you have a blood
it's
shield
like-
and you have your 2 active,
And-
you get real speedy.
And if your passive is up and you hear the you Speedy Gonzalez, here we go. Gotta go fast. On top of that, if you have your
Yeah.
2 active, it's kind of like Bakasura that you will move around them fast enough. You gotta like go in a circular formation around whoever you're fighting, because then they can't hit you, especially if they're a hunter, because their basics are kind of like
Hunters
weird.
will panic when you start destroying their life really fast. It's not something they're used to Thanatos doing, typically. In the same
Now,
way.
the reason why, if you have your 2 active, it's really good is because on top of Executioner, you have that base pen that gives you, so you will crit. Like I think Gray has seen me crit for like
It
1,000 before.
happens. It happens.
It's pretty dumb because unless they have some form of hard CC, like a stun, like Hoyi's hard to box because one, yeah, he has his passive. He gets crit like once every 3 seconds,
Something like that.
3 or 2.
I think it's 3
So it's
seconds.
like-
You can't be
He
crit.
will dumpster on. I mean, your basics still hit hard. They still hit for like 4
You also hit really
at a
fast.
time. You also hit really fast too. It's just that your crits are like kind of what make the build. I mean, you can still be good, relatively good with execution and stuff like that, but like the crit is, oof.
This is a very good build.
I love this build.
If you want to kill a lot of people and surprise them. Is it decent
However,
build
the
to get
safer
penta?
option would be
It's like
No
play
more
the game as
Pentas.
like your Bakasura.
that is true. Your ult's still a really good initiate, and then it's like if you get that first crit basic into your scythe, 9 times out of 10, they're at like less than 25% health unless they're a tank, and then it's just like, well, I try and fight and die, or I run away and then I still die because Thanatos moves at the speed of sound.
But you still die.
But you still die
Chances are,
regardless,
if you get
unless they
stunned in this build, you're probably going to die.
But you also get to feel like Kali when you kill someone, because then you heal to like full.
His passive does
It's
make it very
true.
useful to kill a lot of people. This is a pretty solid
And then you
penta
get
kill
to-
build, actually.
No, I don't have any Pentas on Thanatos. Of my 4, no.
Well, anyway, the possibility's there. It's on the table. If you can play your
Yeah.
cards right, it
It's
definitely is
viable
possible.
if you know what you're doing. However, for starters, any person just trying to get into Thanatos, the OG build's still the safer
Probably
option.
shun
It's just that
build
I like
is.
this build because
But it's
I feel
fun.
like Thanatos late game outside of execute kind of falls off a little bit. This is kind of the opposite. So instead of having a super strong early game, and you still have a decent early game because you're Thanatos, your scythe still hits like a train. Your late game is still super prevalent, which is why I like it a lot, because I'm a apparently late game kid, given by the characters that I like.
And that is the meme build of the week. Chainsaw Thanatos. Heard it here first. Build it every game.
That's what I do.
Well,
I get
he
shit
does.
on,
He
but
really
I
does. It is
on a
fairly annoying. One thing that I want to say
it's like
real
a-
quick is
3 for 4 track record.
please submit your meme builds. We would love to hear them. We'd love to try them. Trust me. And we have one for next week, but if you guys want to send us some, we would love it. We would probably.
I'll try it personally.
I think we'd all probably give it a shot if it sounds memey,
We all have to try.
memey enough. You know what I mean? Juicy.
Only rings Nuwa. Let's see.
Oh, please don't do that. All right, so that concludes the meme build of the week. Now we have another new segment, Class of the Week. Now this one's a little bit interesting, and I'm gonna talk about it just really quick. This one it will probably lead to a good amount of discussion about a specific class. And this week we picked Guardians for a couple reasons, which we'll get to when we break it down more. But before, I don't want this to turn into us complaining because Guardians hurt me and they're overpowered. That's not what this is. We're going to break it down. We're going to go into what the class is good for, what it can do, some good characters, what some builds you might want to try, and some stuff like that. And our resident Guardian player here is Chad,
It's
the
me.
Toasted Nut. So I'm going to give the
That's
reins down to in Africa to him real quick and let him talk a little bit about what Guardians are all about.
Everyone loves Guardians. They're fun. That's why they're played all the time.
So,
Got 2 kinds of Guardians. Everyone loves them. Got the aggressive Guardians, the Bacchuses, the Ares.
I like Ares. Cerberus probably.
Yeah, he's there. Just looking at him.
He
And
is
the
there.
passive Guardians like Jeb and Capri.
Reactionary
Ganesh.
Guardians, perhaps.
The ones that stay back with the team to help them, and the ones that go kill people.
The way you build Guardians.
Listen,
We'll get
that
there.
different.
We'll
I
get
may
there.
play
Really
Bacchus a
fair.
little more than I play Capri, okay? That's just the way it is. Soul Reaver best item.
I mean,
Anyway.
I can't disagree. I play Ymir.
Guardians are good.
Void
Yeah, I
Self
like
like I'll slap you, Jake.
Yeah.
So what do typically Guardians? When you pick a Guardian, what do people expect of you typically?
Stay in the back with your friends and help them not die.
What friends?
You're right. I have no friends.
Now,
But yeah,
This-
I agree.
You find a person you want to keep alive all game and hug them.
but what if you're Ares?
Just-
How the hell can Ares hug somebody?
He hugs the enemy to death.
Nice.
Death is the best CC.
You're right. That's true.
Never
That
forget.
is true.
That is the best CC. Can't confirm.
You can help your friend not die by killing the person killing them for them. That's Ares' strategy.
Now, we're going to talk about Conquest in this. If you pick a Guardian in Conquest, where do you think you're going to go?
Duo lane
Okay.
or solo lane. Most likely. Those are the two most likely lanes.
That's true.
Now,
If we're going to duo lane,
yeah, keep going.
pretty standard start is just Guardian's Blessing, boots, health, and multi potions. Like you can't really go wrong with it. Safe start. Solo lane, I don't know what happens over there. I don't go there.
Jake, you play a lot at Solo Ymir and have played against a lot of Solo Ymir and Sobek, I'm sure.
It's true. At the same
What
time.
do you see?
Well, I solo lane. For Guardians, they mainly just hold up the lane. They stay defensive. You know, it's usually just a boring game. They wait for a gank, and if the gank never comes, they just make sure they stay in their tower. You can't kill them. That's the thing with Guardians and solo lane. There's no aggressive play. You can't just be all up on their faces because they can turn that around. Like just the other day, I went against a solo Kazembo. You know, I thought me playing Kukulin at that time, I was gonna smash his face in. I didn't think I would have any trouble.
You underestimated the turtle in the
as a-
half shell.
It's true. He showed me turtle power.
He was so hungry.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just so hungry right now. No, he actually surprised me with how much damage he could do with his dash or the push that he does through the minion wave and such. Of course, eventually in late game, he fell off hard. That's what I think Guardians do in solo lane. Like in the beginning, they can hurt you. You can hurt them, but not by too much. They can hurt you harder. But as the game continues on, it just kind of turns into a standstill, and whoever has the most sustain wins.
Now, if you were a solo Guardian, what do you think you would start with?
What I would start with? Well,
Probably Warrior's Blessing
honestly,
still, right?
It really
I think so.
depends. Yeah, I mean that's a really good one to choose as even for Guardian. But I personally did Mage's Blessing on Ymir just because I'm a very aggressive Ymir. I think they already have a lot of health, and as long as you build a little defense with it, like 3 times in a row, I played Ymir solo, and then ironically went against another Ymir solo. And all those times I built just magic defense right off the bat, the start of Voidstone, and as well as Mage's Blessing, and it worked out for me every time. Just because I had that extra power, I could hurt them hard. But then again, that was case specific. I do think you should build a little bit defense. Warrior's Blessing is probably better, but I'm just an aggressive player in general. So it worked better for me to build a little bit more defense or offense. But
What actives do you think Guardian should pick up?
Blink is fun. Teleport is always good.
Blink for those Sylvanas, this ult,
Ares,
same as Jeb,
Kerberos.
What
Ares.
I think is
The big team fight, CC, get your beads ult, the Blink.
But
Guardian
I don't think you
thing.
should get beads first. Or not beads, Blink first.
No, I don't think you should get Blink
No.
first either.
Horrific Emblem is severely underplayed. I think that is amazing, especially for a Guardian when you can't run away from them and keep on thwacking them. Wait for your abilities to pop back up because cooldown's a big issue.
I like
seems-
Horrific Emblem on Ymir.
Yeah,
Slap
I do
people.
too. You
Perfect.
smack them
Slap.
Just a
hard
good
too.
item
You
in
got your
general.
Frostbound on your
Very
passive.
good on aggressive characters.
Yep. It's just if you're planning on keeping them there, if they push up a little too hard, that one mistake, you can keep them there and make them pay.
Fortunately, mostly in dual lane, the other Guardian could have sprint and laugh at you if you do that. Which is
Fair
unfortunate.
enough. But that is duo lane. In solo lane, most solo laners do not choose sprint as their
I picked Sprint once.
So, sprint's pretty good. Shell,
Shell's always just a solid
it's solid.
overall. Like it's a save me. know,
Med if
kinda
they
like
have
an Aegis.
executes.
Now,
But yeah,
what would
sometimes frenzy?
what
The
do you think a
occasional
Guardian build would look like most games? What do you think it would involve? A couple defense, couple.
defense, health, and cooldown, and movement speed. Don't underestimate movement speed on Guardians. They have a lot of slows by Wing Blade. It'll save your life. Gotta go fast.
It's a good item, underrated item. Now we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna rate Guardians top 3, bottom 3. In our opinions, once again, this is all our opinion. Your list could literally be the exact opposite, though I don't think it will be. It could, but I don't think it will be. And first of all, Chad, I think we can actually all of us, I think, can probably agree in the bottom Guardian.
I think it's Xingqian.
I too think it is Xingqian.
Xingqian needs some loving. That's for sure.
He doesn't have a home.
Oh, but I love him so much.
He's
He's
fun.
fun, but
He
he's
is
not.
fun. He goes
But in
flippy,
Conquest, he doesn't have a home.
Whoa. He can't really go anywhere because there's just people that do his job better everywhere.
Now,
Like, he pokes.
yeah.
Other than the
pokes.
adventure.
Yeah.
Kuzenbo pokes.
Optimal
The
adventure.
adventure.
pick.
Cerberus pokes.
He's great.
Yes.
Cerberus doesn't poke. Cerberus just kills you.
Pokes.
Who's the second worst Guardian, you think?
For support,
Kazembo.
Cabrakan.
Ooh, that's
thinking Cabrakan.
that's good. Cabrakan's a weird Guardian.
He
He was
is
given the
trash.
name
I
Guardian
don't.
for some reason.
He's fat Loki. Everyone knows he's fat Loki. I don't like him as a support right now.
I don't think
Cabrakan?
most do.
I don't think
Jungle?
he'd be the worst.
Cabrakan jungle. It's probably solid.
I mean, I'd say it's pretty solid given how he could just show up and kill someone.
Yeah.
He
Like,
brought him in, it's
again,
just that person's
just like you
dead.
said before, death is the best CC. It's kind of like the same problem with Bacchus.
And
Right?
he has a decent amount of CC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Cabrakan has to like run it. Bacchus,
Bacchus, you
appears
kind of have to accept where he's gonna go.
Right, but he's still like he's just an
The idea is the same, except
extremely
Bacchus does it
offensive.
a little bit
Yeah,
easier
better.
and has better CC.
by a lot because Cabrakan has the one stun.
Kazembo, you know, he does a little damage using his Kappa, and he's real meme heavy. But like,
Those dank
I
reflect
don't know,
kills.
you could just
Kuzenbo's level 1's amazing.
great.
Level 1.
Yeah.
And his level 2's also amazing. You could kill someone with
What about his level
dash.
20?
If he got to level 20, that game's probably like 2 hours long.
I think that says
Sorry.
a lot.
That's the support role. At the
So
moment.
so who do you Cabrakan number 2 Guardian, and we're probably just gonna use support to base this list off of, but we do have to consider flex picks
We do.
because that's a big reason for I'm sure one of the debates that are gonna go on later in the top 3.
Kuzenbo solo.
It's pretty much always solo. I think no matter what,
I mean, he's
Yeah.
mostly solo.
and I think
He
that limits him a lot.
stomps.
I wouldn't say stop.
He's slapping. He slaps, dude.
He hurts, but like he
He
falls
literally
off
slaps.
still.
He slaps you with his basics.
He gives you the claw.
Well-
Don't underestimate Gamera.
He still isn't like he falls off mid game.
I mean, every tank falls off.
That's true.
Well, yeah, but you know we still can't ignore it.
And Kuzenbo's ult is not what it used to be. It actually knocks them straight up and not away.
That's true.
So now people can hit off it.
It is definitely comboable now.
Yeah.
You can do things with it. Who do you think's better, Kuzenbo or Cabrakan?
Kuzenbo.
I would say Cabrakan. It's up to you two to break it.
Sean, I think has a technical difficulty because he muted himself, but I'm sure he'll be back soon.
So,
Oh, he's back.
He's there.
Who do you think's better, Kuzenbo or Cabrakan?
Cabrakan.
All right.
However, okay, Kuzi Boozy, hear me out.
I'm hearing.
I think for tank purposes, Kuzenbo serves his purpose better. However, overall, I think Cabrakan is better.
Fat Loki.
Fat Loki, your boy.
I
Cabra
would
says
agree.
hi. Just because it's like when they upped Kuzenbo's rate at which he turns when he's pulling someone, that was definitely big. Like that put him up there. But I feel like for the same reason that he was not good in the first place, his ult's more of an inconvenience versus an actual help.
No, it's not like that.
No, it's actually like pretty
No, it
good.
knocks straight up now.
I mean-
it knocks straight up when they get hit by
It's
it.
pretty
guess,
solid,
yeah.
the combo.
I just think
You can hit me.
Kraken's ult is better because it's just like, hey, wall, you can't go anywhere. Unless your teammates break the wall for you, but usually by then you're dead.
I think the reason I'm gonna say Kraken's better is mainly because I think Kuzenbo's Nene fucking sucks.
Watch my name.
Past level 2, the Nene kind of doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
a slow line.
It's like a little bit of damage, it slows, and that's really all there is to it. And I think Kraken, all of his abilities are decent, at least.
Maybe you could set up a hot body block with your 3 pushing through a wall. Maybe.
Optimally,
that's
sure,
that's
but
stretch.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I
Well,
think
wait.
Kraken's better, but it's definitely close, and I
But-
definitely think they both could use some form. I mean, Kraken probably. Here's the thing, he's not played like a guardian really. He's played like a beefy assassin,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
But he still could help out the duo.
Because there's damage items that give so much health now, and he just like builds those, and it's just he can still.
I can
one-shot people.
be a big, bulky man that runs at you. It's basically him.
And with his one, he's immune to roots and slows. That's a big one.
Kuzenbo doesn't need damage to do damage.
That's the thing. That is a thing that I would
He
say.
presses 2 and
Kuzi
activates
Wuzi
Thorns.
is good at.
That's
If
true,
he's-
to an
his
80.
I mean,
shell
you
of
know,
spikes and thorns late
some-
game.
If
will
it's
destroy
good
you.
enough.
Unfortunately, he has to get Thorns.
that is an item that you have to. Overall, I think the part of this discussion I think is going is worst bottom 3, and these can still see play. These aren't like horrible characters. They just aren't as Guardians especially. They aren't as good as the top 3. I think the worst Guardian currently, Xingqian, followed up by
Xingqian.
Kuzenbo, and then Kraken.
Again, that's not to say that it's like they won't be really good. Because ultimately, it depends on the person that's
They
playing.
aren't
You
bad.
can-
They're
you
just
can be
happen
a
to
main.
be the
Out
bottom
of
three.
It's
these
just
Guardians,
Be a main, but
they are not
From
as
an
good as others.
objective standpoint,
And
of
this
their
is our
role
opinion.
as
And our
Guardians.
this is our opinion.
Our-
Our
Definitely our
experience.
opinion. Now, top 3 Guardians is where I think number 1. Once again, I'm pretty sure we can all agree on right now.
Terra.
Terra does everything really, really good, and that's really all there is to say. She's just very.
We already talked about her.
We
earlier.
gave our spiel about Terra.
You all know what's up.
Yeah.
Now, second place. Chad, what do you think? I want to hear what you say first.
Kepri.
Second best guard in the game, Kepri, huh? Why do you think that? Lay it on me. Explain to me why he's so good.
Kepri can be put with any hunter in duo lane, and they will succeed.
Why is that?
Because his 2 wins the lane, and his pet. Kepri at level 1 basically wins lane. His 2 makes your minions tankier. It makes their minions less tanky. Does a lot of damage.
I level 1.
And he's got the shields. He's just really good. And you can't forget the revive late game.
The revive.
Got a
Captain.
hyper carry? Slap him with the invincibility.
I make it bang.
Kepri,
It does make it.
I
bang.
do think is very, very good, and I will not argue with anyone who says he is amazing, because he is amazing. But
Right.
I think Athena is better for
I do agree with that.
the sole purpose of if I pick Athena, I really can do almost whatever I want with that character. I can jungle successfully. I can solo just fine, and I can go on the support and duo lane and not really. I can carry my fucking ADC to victory. Plus, she has a global presence. Global.
And that global
Nina
presence
is
very
everywhere.
strong.
How are
I
you?
need to pull up her stuff.
Her taunt is one of the best
Really
CC
good.
abilities in the game.
Pretty wicked.
And if they don't have beads late game, especially with
die.
Ognithoth, they're dead. Like that's just they're gonna die.
Yeah.
It's really good because it groups them up when you taunt people.
Oh yeah.
I would give it to Athena as well. She's just an overall great god. And she's always
And
been.
if she builds
my eyes,
damage,
an
because
S-tier
say she goes
pick.
into the jungle and she goes full damage.
Well, I don't think
Her-
even if you jungled, I don't think you should go full damage, but you can, I guess.
Athena deceptively does a lot of damage.
Yep.
I mean, her ult does 750 base at max. That's a lot.
I mean, her 3 at max is like 500.
If you get hit by both, it hurts.
It's 560 plus 100% if you get hit by both.
It hurts real bad.
it slaps.
I say that because Athena's the only guardian. No, I've dominated Kabrakan, but he's not. We just had the discussion of he's fat Loki. She's the only like guardian I've really like diamonded and put hella time and effort into. But Chad's biggest complaint. What's your biggest complaint about Athena? I know like there's one. I don't remember what though.
But Athena, a lot of times when you taunt people, people stare at you and don't
That's-
follow
Well,
up.
that
teammate.
seems like
I know.
man, the
I'm
guys
just-
the
my
guys you play
experience.
with must suck really hard and never follow up on a taunt.
Yeah, it's not like you play with our
The
clan or
main
anything.
frustration with Athena is you're trying to ult the solo lane, you accidentally hit mid.
Worst character in the game.
They happen to be in your line of sight, and you started teleporting to someone else.
Okay, but do you think she's a solid number 2, or do you really believe that Khepri is just that good?
I think she's number 1. Kepri's number 2.
You think she's better than Terra?
Oh wait, I forgot about
would-
Terra.
I was like,
Terra's there.
I actually
Um,
think it's close.
yeah.
I actually think it's closer than
Okay.
people would think, but I still think Terra.
I think it's a toss-up.
I think it's close.
I do think it's close.
But I think she's better than Kepri.
I'd say it would go.
CC
I think
wise. And the versatility,
Yeah.
or the fact that she can be 3 roles. Kepri can only be support.
Athena probably is the most flexible character in the game.
Flex zone.
Not Ymir. Ymir is 5 roles.
I guess you're right. Yeah, sure.
I mean, he is.
Ymir is
No,
here.
But Athena does what he does, but better.
I mean, you're right. She
Yeah,
has
but you know,
Cone in
Ymir-
front of her, CC. But she
Ymir can
doesn't-
stop your a teammate's back. So there's that.
you
Athena
bastard.
can back with it. And stop.
One thing before we talk about Athena is she sucks in duel. So there's that.
You're right. You don't
just
have an ult in
ultimate
duel.
in duel.
You can ult yourself.
Now the third,
No, you can't.
the third,
Oh.
the third best guardian. Chad's probably gonna say Khepri, but I think Cerberus and Jeb are both have to be up there at some form or fashion. They are both really, really good. I'll make an argument. I play a decent amount of Jeb actually. I don't play a lot of guardians, but I do play a decent amount of Jeb, and I think Jeb has some of the best support stuff. I mean, his Stone Shield is one of, if not the best ability in the game.
Him and Kepri
I'll
play
give it to
very
Kepri.
similarly.
I do think it's close. The only reason I say Stone Shield is so good is because, once again, we're in a burst meta,
Good old coach.
and the Stone Shield helps nullify that by a pretty good amount. But so does Kepri's ult, but one of those is on a
Kepri's
40-second
ult is better
cooldown,
at it.
and one of them is on like a 10-second cooldown. Obviously, I don't know those numbers actually, but...
Kepri's 120. Jeb's is like 20 or
Well,
18.
I'm assuming they both
think
have
it's
max
18.
cooldown, because they should. Those two characters should probably buy max cooldown, definitely.
It's hard to sometimes. Well, you can't see the cooldown on here.
What do you think, Sean? If you're a hunter, I mean, I guess we shouldn't just consider that, but really those two are both really only
Yeah.
in the support. Like, you definitely can't play Khepri solo. He does not have the length leader for that.
Jungle Jeb OP.
I mean, you can jungle Jeb, but I don't think it's super great.
So, between the Heps and the Keps and Earth,
What you think, boy?
Let me hear it.
I think I would put overall like versatility of the role. I'm gonna have to go Jeb. I'm sorry, Chad. And I love
disagree.
Jeffrey
You're a
because
big weenie.
I disagree.
I
with
think the
that.
big thing is that
Kepri
like,
is low.
He also has better mobility.
And Kepri,
He has-
well, that's true. Jeb has faster rotations. By a lot.
By a lot.
one of the biggest factors for me is the shield that Jeb.
The
does.
shield is so good.
The shield is his best ability.
I mean, the shield's literally one of the best abilities in the
Best
game.
Because not only does it give you like a late game, it's a substantial shield.
It's like a quarter of
It's
your
also
health,
a
or like half
Cleanse.
of a health.
The
Cleanse.
cleanse part is the biggest one. Especially versus gods like Terra, for example, where it's like, oh hey, I'm gonna root you and then fist fuck you.
Yeah, she'll do it.
Nice.
It pretty much counteracts the fact. That's what I meant to say, and then I had a stroke. Anyways, However, Khepri, like Chad said, like we've all discussed, his
lane presence is
cannot run the sun. His lane presence is huge.
uncontested.
But Jeb also
He's
has just about every form of CC in the game.
Well, he doesn't have a stun,
That's-
but I mean he does. His ult.
Yeah,
His
his ult. The thing is though, like I think on a more big
Khepri has
factor
more CC
of-
than Jeb.
I would agree with that.
Well, if you
I would agree.
don't count their ults. Jeb ult's better, but like
I mean, I'm not sure I'd say it's better,
like-
but it's better with CC definitely because it is
Better
CC.
than
that's what I'm
I'd
talking
say-
Hell, not better.
Khepri's ult
It's-
is the best support ability in the game.
Yeah, I'd say
Can't
that.
argue.
Bringing
but-
back to life.
It's you can't die for 5 seconds.
On top of the like I think overall in the team fight setting, which was what tends to happen more to his late game, I think Jeb is better. Even in like the late phasing of like hunters, when you're just like there, it's like he has so much utility with his role and stuff like that. He can get there faster. Whereas it's like one of the game we played where you were Khepri, you just kind of like would your way to convince him to be like, nah, fam, and just walk away.
Now, the thing about Khepri is his ult doesn't work all the time.
Yeah, it's
That's true.
It-
But get over
when
it.
it does, it's super handy, but like
We've all seen the hop of shame. It's not as
Wait.
common.
Stop being such a little bitch.
it's not as common.
That's it. That's
Or
It's not as common as it used to
It's,
be.
it's not like when it first came out where
But-
you would like jump in the air, see the ult go on them, they would die. And
But
then
nothing
but
is more frustrating than putting your ult on someone, them dying, and then nothing happening, and it goes on cooldown.
Because I feel like late game in team fights, Khepri just kind of can get ignored.
Now,
I mean, don't underestimate the power of
here's
the sun.
what
John.
I'm going to go ahead and end
Yeah.
this and say I do think Khepri is better, but only if you have a really beefy warrior or another guardian.
Well, Jeb needs that too. They both.
Okay, but I think if we're talking solo tank, I'm feeling like Jeb could do a better job.
Jeb can do better.
But I am going to give it to Khepri, but I do think those two basically perform the same role. It's just Khepri's 2 is an insane ability. Like if you read what
It's
that fucking
amazing.
thing does, it's it's like you get like a fucking novel about it.
Use it more on your teammates than your enemies, and you'll see the greatness of this ability.
And his ult, if you slap it on a late game ADC, even if they avoid killing
They
him,
can't just ignore
because
him.
it'll kill them because it's a nasty boon, correct? Like it's like 40% movement speed and then a lot of power. And
40% movement speed, and if you die, you get resurrected to Khepri.
yeah,
And
does it not give power? I thought it did.
immunity to slow? You get immune to slows.
Movement speed's very
No power.
powerful in this game.
Yeah,
Very
you get
powerful.
40% movement speed, slow immunity, and if you die, you get revived
So Khepri,
with a percentage of your health.
number 2, and then Jeb, or number 3, and then it would probably go
Jeb.
Jeb right after, probably, and then Cerberus. We've already
Wait,
talked
no,
about.
I thought it was Terra, Athena, Khepri, Jeb's number 4.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
So
Honorable mention, Jeb.
honorable mention Jeb. Cerberus is very, very good and does a lot of damage, but he just doesn't have the as good peel. Cerberus is more of a solo lane guardian than he's a support. And I definitely would recommend you probably play him solo if you do play Cerberus. And he's a good character. Just I think the others offer a lot to team fights, where Cerberus is more of a kill someone, slow someone kind of ordeal. Anyway, that concludes our class of the week. So, yeah, that was long. And next week, or not, we won't talk about that next week, because next week we patch notes. But the week after that, we'll probably pick a different class. It might be Hunter, especially if the Chernobog comes out. It might be Hunter. We'll see.
Chernolano.
Speaking of, we are moving on
Hunter
to our
is-
last segment
Hunter fun.
for now, which we might get more segments in the future. We are always open to suggestions. We already have a couple that we might want to do, but we simply don't have the resources to implement them yet. The Community Corner. So, is there anything that you guys want to talk about before we get into what I want to talk about?
Gummy bear Artio skin. Make it happen, people. Someone who's good at drawing. Show me your skills. Artio as a gummy bear.
Yeah, is that
That's all I want.
number 1 on the list for you?
Yes. By
All
far.
right.
Okay, I can respect that.
Oh wait, no, there's another one. Chad, we talked about this today with Kumba.
What about with Koopa?
What about Kumba?
Snorlax Kumba.
Oh yeah, Snorlax
You
Koopa.
can't do
Someone,
that.
please. Okay, yeah.
if
it's
Rayquaza
not
can be
making-
Coco Con, we can have Snorlax Kumba.
He's right. That is true.
Sure.
Erlang Shen's a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, come on. He's a Pokemon.
I mean,
trainer.
he's protecting wildlife, but you know what it is.
Listen, here's one of those
Pokemon
things.
Home.
It's just, it'd be cool, and I do agree. It definitely would be an amazing skin, but I don't think
I
it's gonna
know.
happen.
If not, someone
Probably
draw
not,
just a little
but
quick
Gummy
sketch
bear.
concept.
You know what? Someone should make the concept. I'm
Gummy
sure the
bear.
concept already exists, but if it doesn't,
I'm sure it's out there.
let us know.
That-
Gummy Bear RTO.
Fine, draw it up. It'd be
Someone
dope.
draw it up. Someone do it. Do it for the Vaughn.
Someone
I
good.
can't draw.
Don't make it total crap.
You should make it crap. I want it to be the shittiest
I don't
Snorlax
want it
I've
to
ever
be.
seen.
I don't want it to be. I don't want to see it.
What do you
I'm
What do
not
you think
gonna
you would
look
hold?
at
Like a
it.
tree? Like a Pokemon?
Uh,
Pokemon.
Dude, you're-
that's a good question. Well, he doesn't have to hold it.
Well, there's
okay,
not even
yeah,
a
he
Pikachu
does.
on a
He
toad.
absolutely does. What's he gonna do? It's like punch you really hard.
He can hold, I guess, a tree.
Can it
The tree
be?
makes
Can
more
the
sense.
tree be a? Oh god, what's the rock Pokemon that looks like a? You think it's a grass type every time?
Sudowoodo?
Sudowoodo. Yeah,
Sudowoodo.
he'll smack you with a
Sudowoodo.
Sudowoodo.
You know what really
You
freaked
don't
me out?
know with that.
The pre-evolution in that always had a butthole.
That's all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right there.
Bonsly!
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, just the one last thing I want to talk about in the community corner is we know a little bit about the next god, which will be the Chernobog.
Chernobyl.
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 Now here's
Nuclear
here's what I really wanted to say today. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm super stoked for this god. I love edgy shit. He's a hunter. That's my favorite role. I'm stoked for this character. He looks tight. He's voiced by Deg Cockle. It's a funny name. Sorry, Doug.
Geralt of
Sorry,
Rivia.
Doug, but he's Geralt of fucking Rivia. And if you don't know the Witcher series, you are missing out because it is an amazing series. And Geralt has, just look up a clip. Geralt has like
Witcher.
one of the best voices ever. Just,
Oh, absolutely.
Gary.
and if we,
Gary,
now,
the
we're gonna get
metrosexual
there. Hold
freak.
on. Now, here's the thing with the Chernobog. We already have Kerninos, and his short for Kern. And Chern and Kern are too similar. And I don't want to call him Bog. That's gross.
I'm calling him Bog.
So I am officially referring to him as Gary from now on. Chernobog is now
Metrosexual
Gary to me.
fruitcake.
And if you guys don't know the meme, there's a meme on the internet of Geralt being a metrosexual fruitcake and getting his name wrong as Gary. It's very funny. But either way, I, from here on out, will only refer to him unless it is a technical thing as Gary.
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 He looks kind of like a Gary, you know. I'm looking at the Chernobog right now. I can see Gary. He's one of, like, he himself named himself the Chernobog,
Gary
but his mom
the
definitely named him
Edgelord.
Gary. You know what I mean?
I believe
So
it.
he was trying to be cool.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Like on
having
Xbox, he was like,
He's in his edgy phase. Okay?
yeah. On Xbox, he's like, I'm the Chernobog, and then like you hear in the background like, Gary, clean up the plates, and he's like, shut up, Mom.
trying to be cool.
God, I don't understand.
God, Mom, you just don't understand.
But
Like,
no, but real
first of all,
talk, the Chernobog looks really cool. His design is awesome. He has a really
Slavic.
he's the first Slavic god also. And they're starting strong. I hope it's been a long time coming for this character. Really long time coming.
He better.
He
be-
he have to have a really cool kit. I think he will, but if he doesn't, it'd be real disappointing.
If his 3 is a jump or dash,
Well,
Well, we'll
We-
know.
You
pretty
heard it
soon.
we'll
here
know here
first.
in a week. But also they've already talked about one of his abilities being like a movement through wall. And a lot of
That's
people,
his 3.
and a lot of people think it's going to be his like a dash into a wall. Realistically, we have no idea.
So he's going to be the best in Assault.
dude, can he be the boogeyman?
He is the boogeyman.
Ooga booga.
You jump into the wall and just wait for people, and then be like,
We have no idea. I'm excited. I want to play the character day one.
well, if there's a Giannis portal there.
What if someone just waits?
Why
in
don't?
front
All right. Well, we don't even know if that's what it does. All right. Let's just calm down on the theory crafting.
But this is where the fun begins.
Otherwise, there's not too much to talk about. We'll probably go ahead and wrap up here real quick. If there's any final words you guys want to say,
Raw ult combined. with
no
all
Infinity
other
War
mages.
spoilers in the comments.
He kills everyone but Ant-Man.
Oh man. All right.
We appreciate. Thank you everyone for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more podcasts. It's weekly now. This will be uploaded on SoundCloud to some degree. Whenever we get around to that, I don't know I don't know anything about SoundCloud, so I don't know if there's a playlist or you can subscribe or whatever. But it'll be on there. The link will be in the YouTube description and probably in the Reddit description. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see all of you next time. I don't know the Japanese word for bye. Sean, go.
Sayonara.
Yep, we're gonna end it on that.